I noticed that, Raymond, you are among a few local publishers who are doing it aggressively, doing your own marketing, not only in Western countries, but also you try to penetrate Eastern Europe. And normally when you go abroad, we met at Bologna, we were together in Shanghai. What do you do when you're involved in all these international book fairs? What do you do actually? Yeah. Of course, you have your. He's a very good PR person, I know, that's for sure. How do you do it? I mean, you just showcase your book and then you get good.
I also went through a lot of try and error.
Yeah, you've been for more than 30 years. Of course, you are the Sifu already.
I went through a lot of try and error. The first few years when I was doing international sales. I come back with a big egg, Yeah. I never succeed. So now if I want to go overseas, I make sure I have appointments.
Okay.
All right. So I write to them. But then again, everybody, just like we write to other people, other companies will also be writing to us for appointment.
Yeah.
So we filter. Right. Then mock-ups, which is actually very expensive. Because, like I say again, if I were to bring my books and it is in Bahasa Malaysia, comparatively, if I can bring my book in English, it will be much easier.
Yeah.
And then also, I think the confidence level, because they will be able to read that small chapter. So when they read, they will know the flow of the language. Here we just tell them, okay, this is in Malay, this is in our language, and then if you want the English version, this is the English version. Anything that is not ready, I think the confidence is a little bit lower.
A lot of our audience, maybe they don't know that you are making a great deal of business in the Islamic book segment. You have that business acumen, you know how to sell Islamic books.
Actually, I've been selling Islamic books for the last 25 years.
25 years, is it?
25 years. I happen to work for a company.
All right.
The company produce Islamic books.
Okay.
So I sell. Right? And then I think it is just like any other publishers. We just do some storybooks, and then we sell to the libraries. But after 911, I think the interest on Islam shoot up very high. So I have my own friends and my colleagues who actually ask me, I say, okay, you have this book. Can we actually do this into thinner, and then we sell it to the mass market?
Okay.
So I started, and never look back, actually.
You're making that gesture just now, Jonathan. No?
He's repackaging it in different
that's
sizes,
the point, yeah.
thinner, bigger. So that's also another way of selling. If you have just one product, big book, you can make it in a smaller volume,
Alright.
a smaller size, or maybe make it into many volumes from one book.
Okay.
So it helps me. These are ideas that you can propose to your customer.
Right.
Say example, let's just a book here.
A World at War.
World at War. There may be many chapters here.
Yeah.
You can actually tell your customer, instead of just one book, you can actually split it up into like maybe 5 books.
Yeah.
Or even reduce the size smaller to suit the market. And the selling price, if smaller book, obviously will be cheaper in the country.
But that sounds like common sense to you. But it's not common among our local publisher. Can I say that our capacity, exposure, professionalism, and knowledge is still below par? Can I say that?
I think they're not exposed to it.
All right.
I wouldn't say that it's below par. Once they're exposed to it, they get the idea that some of the books, some of the work can be sold in such a manner, so it'll help in a way. Just to
you've been you're working for an international publisher, but you're stationed here in Kuala Lumpur in PJ. You're also dealing with local publishers, all right? So what are the biggest hurdle for them to go beyond Malaysian market territory? What are the biggest hurdle? Exposure per se? Only about exposure?
Price-wise, content-wise, A number of factors, really.
Okay. But what's the number one factor, the biggest factor that impede us from being international player?
I think it has to be the content.
Content.
Yeah, it has to be suitable for their market.
Okay.
Yeah. Then secondly, talk about the pricing.
Okay.
So
We'll come to the pricing later. But content-wise, you don't seem to have any problem, Raymond.
My one, the problem would be because mine is more on illustration.
Okay.
My one would be Islamic
children books.
Islamic illustrated Islamic children books. Okay, so most of the time when our own illustrators they draw for our own local market, jago, they call it what? Jago kampung.
Jago kampung.
Right. So
Jago kampung.
So they actually draw, because you see, if you're going to draw nicer, you're going to draw more detailed. You're going to be costly. Right. So most of the time they just do it and then can market accepted enough.
All right.
They never, from the very beginning, correct. Jonathan, you say it's true. Illustration must be very nice. The content must also be good. But they don't do it that way. They just do it enough.
But now you know the tricks of the trade. That means that you have identified local talents who can do international quality illustrations.
Correct.
Am I not right?
Correct. But these are the limited species.
Okay.
Then
Kota Buku has to do a lot more training for them. I mean, give them more exposure.
Because you see, these artists, these illustrators, you see, you got to pay them.
Yeah.
So rather than you just use the normal artists, right? You got to pay and then make sure that these people with certain talent.
Okay.
And you must be able to draw what the international market wants. You don't draw just because you think it's for us now.
Yeah. I'm becoming excited here because you're saying, in a way, as the saying goes, you pay peanuts, you get monkey. I mean, is that part of the pricing issues, Jonathan? Because we are a bit underpaid for all these book workers?
Okay, let's go back to illustrators.
All right.
I think publishers, if they are really serious into going international, they can have a pool of local and foreign illustrators.
Okay.
Foreign illustrators you can actually, get in Bologna, a lot of them around. But the ideas has to come from the authors.
Okay.
And again, authors too, you can engage local as well as you can have a pool of local as well as foreign authors if you really want to do international.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the pricing issue. How come pricing is a big issue, it's a big hurdle for Malaysian players? Is it because of our ringgit?
Okay, a lot of what right now I deal mostly with Southeast Asian countries, and these are basically low price markets.
Okay.
Not like Koreans or Japanese, where the book prices are like 3 or 4 times our retail
What you're
prices.
saying is that our local book price is very cheap. So it's not,
Yeah.
the margin is very small for the players to get better revenue.
Well, I mean, if you want to sell a co-edition,
Yeah.
your price has to be acceptable
Okay.
for that foreign market.
Correct.
Say if you want to sell to Philippines, which is actually a lower price market compared to Malaysia, the price has to be right for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You cannot sell.
you can't sell to them.
Yeah, but I thought among local consumers, they've been complaining that the price of books is exorbitant. Don't you agree with that? A lot of book buyers here in Malaysia feels that the price of books being sold here in Malaysia is a bit pricey.
From overseas.
Even local books for that matter, because they do a Pareto comparison. You can see that one standard novel published in the UK perhaps is being sold for £9 plus, but over here for the same genre, same market spectrum is being sold for at least 24 ringgit or 25 ringgit. So if you do a Pareto comparison, £9 to 24 ringgit, it's a bit pricey. Am I right to say that?
Not really.
Not really.
I don't think that's.
It's not an issue.
It's not an issue. I think
Okay. So
nowadays.
because you're saying that the price of book in Malaysia is comparatively low.
Yeah. That's true.
So that means for perhaps maybe if you can have this novel here, it's good for us to have the book that comes in handy. This one is 30 ringgit. So 30 ringgit, I think it's quite pricey. If this kind of novel, and it's even Khadijah Hashim, a big name here in Malaysia, 30 ringgit for Khadijah Hashim's novel is a bit pricey. And both of you are saying no. This is
It depends on the reader, really. If you're a Khadijah Hashim fan, you will buy the book.
Okay, if that's the case, then let's look at all right. But this one, this is £8. Now I'm going to bring this topic later on. Because from the industry point of view, you feel that book price in Malaysia is still low, but from the consumer point of view, if they compare an £8 John Grisham, and this is an international book, as compared to Khadijah Hashim's novel, this is a trilogy. This one is 30 ringgit, and this one is £8. If you do a Pareto, if you do a Pareto comparison, I'm a book buyer myself. It doesn't make sense. £8, and my salary over there is perhaps maybe £3,000. Over here, my salary is 3,000 ringgit. I have to pay 30 ringgit. So Pareto wise,
I think I'm not. Well, if you compare that way, I mean,
that's not fair.
How many
John Grisham can you sell?
Yeah, in UK probably can sell like 1 to 100,000 copies, whereas the Malay, this Khadijah Hashim novel probably 3,000 to 5,000, or
I think more.
10,
I think more.
So it's about the economic structure.
The size, yes. But if you talk about individual books again, now we talk about Peter and Jane.
Okay.
Andy Byton.
All right.
Andy Byton has over the years.
Media.
Because when you talk about, because this one is every now and then they got to come up with new titles, new storylines, right? So we go back to area where we can recycle.
All right.
Andy Byton in this part of the world now is so much cheaper because they pay price. They do a local adaptation, a local pricing for the local people here.
Okay. So it's a chicken and egg issue, isn't it? You need to get an international exposure for your book to be much lower price, but at the same time you cannot do that because our market is still not exposed, very limited. Okay, so I think we understand a bit more what needs to be done here at Kota Buku.
Well, right now, I do mostly books for children, not so much into this genre, really. So, I can't really say much about that, but I'm not sure whether Khadijah Hashim has really sold his rights abroad or not.
Yeah. By the way, Jonathan, now if we look at the conversion rate, it's now already 4 ringgit or $1. So that itself contributes even more pressure.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Compared to 1 year ago, August,
all right,
2320. Now it's 4 ringgit and still dropping.
Unless you sell abroad, Raymond. Will you be joining for Beijing? No, not this time around.
I'm actually preparing for
Frankfurt.
Shanghai.
Oh, Shanghai. Okay.
You see, Beijing and Shanghai is like Frankfurt and Bologna.
Okay.
Even this year, I'm thinking of giving Frankfurt a skip.
Yeah.
Because mine will be children. I want to go to the children book fair. I want to go to area where they are more specific, targeted audience.
Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. Please come back. I think a lot more for me to learn from both of you, Raymond and also Jonathan. So please stay tuned for another round of discussion at #BKB.
Thank you.